Hey there, YouTubers. All right, time to review this 1080p 60 FPS capture card. Now, I bought the Leadnovo one. However, there are multiple versions of this on Amazon, all coming from China. And they've just basically created, at least I would say, 6 different ways to purchase this on Amazon. So, this is Leadnovo. The one from Panmax and Dododuck look exactly the same. Then there's another one on there that is also the same exact model, except for it's gray. That comes from Zazluke. And if you look around on good old Amazon, you will find other ones. Some of them don't even have names. They just go with 1080p 60 FPS. So I'm estimating there's at least 6 versions of this on there. Stupid me bought the most expensive one. Right now this guy is $64.99, and I believe you can get it as cheap as $56.99 or $57.99. So there are things I like about this. Some things I really like about it, some things I don't like about it. So we'll go quickly through it. And hopefully I'll throw up some video footage of what I actually did for recording. Now, you're going to use OBS with this, and OBS, not the best software in the world. Definitely has some faults to it. If there's a better recording software that's compatible with this, I would personally suggest you try that out. I think you would end up with better results than I did. So for OBS, I'm not going to go too much into it, but I did, set my bit rate to between 2,500 kilobytes per second and 10,000. 10,000 gave me the best picture. All right. The other things I had to do in there is under sources, I had to add a video capture device. All right, and then it automatically recognized this thing, so that was great. I'm using a pretty heavy-duty secondary computer, anywhere from a Ryzen 9 3900X to an i3 10100. So we've used that along with a decent graphics card like an RX 5500 XT. I don't think this works so great if you're using some cheap RX 550 like I have, or a 560. You've got to use a somewhat decent card, depending on what your settings are in OBS. So I'll leave that for you all to figure out. But not a problem here. For some of you, it may be an issue, right? Have to have a secondary computer, and you can't necessarily use your old 486 sitting around, right? It's gotta be something that can keep up. So let's talk about a little bit more about the device. Aluminum. It's got a nice look to it. I will give them that. Everything comes together quite well. There are no rough edges really. So on this side we have HDMI input. This is going to come from your graphics card. HDMI output can go to your monitor. Okay. I didn't try it, but you should be able to take your graphics card and have a display port go straight to your monitor, which should allow for, in my opinion, a better picture on the screen, and then still have a HDMI out go to this device. On the other side, you've got the USB 3.0. They include this cable right here. It's kind of short. That would be something. If it was another couple feet long, it would be better. This is how this thing gets its power, okay, and also how it's going to take that HDMI info, does whatever it does inside of this, and then it's going to export it to the secondary computer via the USB 3.0. Headphone, microphone. So that is what you have here. Let me go over quickly the positives. So when you use something like this, you don't get FPS drop in your video game, so that is definitely a big plus, especially for this channel. Okay, negatives with this: the quality is definitely not as good as Shadow Play, Radeon Live, and Xbox Game Bar, so that's a bit of a negative. The device doesn't have an on-off button. You unplug it to power it off. It does get a little warm, so that's a bit of a negative as well. The price is a bargain in my opinion, so I give that a thumbs up. Now, so competitors to this, you've got the real high-end Elgato, Avermedia. Those are definitely going to give you better results than this. All right, on the low end, this is one of the best cheap ones that I have found, and I've used I brought in 4 capture cards over the last 9 months, and this is right in the middle. I'm gonna keep this, and I may have a backup to it at some point, but I misspoke there. I may have this as a backup when I get a better capture card. Some of the other cards that are in the same category do not have 4K pass-through. All right, so that's a big plus. I can play my game at 4K, whatever quality, and this will basically export it to OBS as 1080p 60 FPS. So I can show people the game, how it was, what the FPS is with no drop. On the other end, the quality, the picture is nowhere near as good as what I'm seeing, but not everybody comes to my channel to see this wonderful picture. They're watching on their cell phones. If you're watching on a 4K monitor or a 4K TV, then yeah, you would expect a 4K video, right? So that aspect is lost in this. But if you're on the channel to see the FPS benchmark and accuracy of how many frames per second, this gets you there. So another thing that's kind of cool that it'll do, you can take something like Vudu, maybe even Netflix, and actually record those videos to your hard drive. Personally, I don't recommend that because there might be some laws against that, but it does work. And so if you're backing up your digital movie collection, that isn't such a bad thing in my opinion. We'll export as 1080p 60 FPS, so if you have 4K movies, you're not gonna be able to back them up except to 1080p or HDX basically. So alright, so I know when I did my unboxing I kind of bashed this thing, and some of it was justified, some maybe not so much. The product overall is pretty decent for the money. Is it the best thing out there? Not even close, right? But it is a good little device that most of you will probably be happy with. You will get some comments from people like, oh, the picture quality could be better, blah blah blah, right? So I can see that myself, but for those of you just getting started, this may be the best route for you, right? If you can't afford the $250 Elgato 4K PCI Express video capture card, and this probably will get you there, right? So I like to think, when people are looking at a gaming channel to subscribe to, there's in a lot of ways 3 things they're looking for. One, is how good the gameplay is, right? So you go on there and you're hoping to learn stuff from that person, or you just want to see good quality gaming. You don't want to see that person dying all the time. So that aspect is a must-have, right? Then we talk about the actual, what you see on the screen, the quality of it. If they are actually doing 4K video, it'd be nice to see 4K video. You're not going to get that with that, right? 1080p video. Well, this will give you that, but using OBS, it does seem like not every frame actually is captured. So that's a bit of a negative. The overall picture quality does not look as good as what I saw on my screen. So that's a bit of a negative. So this is a little weak in giving you the best quality video picture. Alright, so the other really good positive about this though is and then a lot of people come to my channel for, is for the benchmark aspect. They want to see the real numbers of FPS. They don't want it, to be reduced because I used OBS, I used Shadowplay, I used Radeon Live, I used Xbox Gaming Bar. They want to come to the channel and get the real deal numbers. So that's the one thing that this really does well. It does not drop my FPS. All right, so there you have it. I'll leave this up to you whether you buy it. I honestly think for my channel, this is a good backup to have. If I had a really good capture card, and then I would have this, I would take this on travel with me. I would leave the good card, behind. And the good cards are PCI Express cards, so they're going to be stuck in a desktop anyways, where this guy can travel with me. This is already a lot more dependable than the AverMedia card that I had that was external, that the card reader died after about 2 weeks. So there you go, folks. I hope you got something out of it. Please like, please subscribe.